Hi guys, welcome back to Creative Frenzy. Okay, I figure I was on a roll today and I'd do some mass making of, well, some spring or Easter or whatever you want to call them cards. So I have these really bright colored cards from Michaels. I bought them in a big pack. I'm still working my way through them. I've had them over a year, maybe a year and a half, maybe even 2 years. I don't even know anymore. But they're really bright colors, and I thought I'd have some fun with the faux vellum flowers that I showed in a previous video. So I have the flowers left over, and they're all in bright colors. Some are a little bit more neutral. And then I have the little Easter eggs that I made, and then all the little pieces that I die cut. So I thought I'd just make a bunch of spring cards. It doesn't have to be for Easter. If you leave out the Easter eggs, you can use them just for birthdays, you can use them for anniversaries, different things, all kinds of fun stuff. So as you can see, I've used some packaging. This is from some makeup packaging. This is some craft paper that I've used, more makeup packaging. This one I drew myself with some alcohol ink markers and a white not a Sharpie. What's the word? Gel pen. That's the word. And this is some scrapbook paper. Here I used a book page. I tend to cut off a little bit off the bottom on an angle either way, and then it just creates a little bit more interest. You could leave a little bit of space on the bottom. You can't even see that. There we go. You can leave a little bit of space so it shows the flat bottom, so it looks like it's sitting on something or other, or you can go right to the edge. You can ink the edges of some of these if you so choose, which I might do. I'm just using my ink pad here. Sorry, that was noisy. I'm just going to use brown for the sake of, just for the sake of using brown. So you can make it look a little bit more vintage if you like. You could do this on a neutral card stock instead of bright colors. You don't have to do it on, bright colors if it's not your thing. You could do it on white. You can do whatever you like. But I had these still, and I figured I'd use them. Why not? They come with little matching envelopes, so pretty much the card is, halfway done before you even start to embellish. So that'd be kind of fun just to sort of do these with you. And it's a nice, gorgeous, sunny day out today, so I thought it'd be even better. You can ink these too if you like, just to give it a little bit more definition around the edge. Now this one you can draw the stems. It could be like a vase or clear, like a mason jar or whatever if you have a stamp. Or if you're really good at drawing, you can always do something a little bit different. And then you can draw the little stems in there, and then you can draw the flowers up top. Or you could use it as a flower pot kind of thing, and you can't really see it. But I used mine as a little glass jar, so I might just draw something or other. I've got some glue here, and I don't have a glue stick. Just one second. There we go. Glue stick. There's always something I forget. I don't understand why. Maybe because I wasn't really intending on doing this video with you guys, but we might as well. Why not? So again, you could have a different colored mat on here, like you can mat your little page and stuff like that, or your card before you put this on there. But I kind of like the color of the cards themselves to sort of stick out in this case. So I thought it'd be kind of cool. And again, like I said, you don't have to use these for Easter or anything like that. You can just use them for birthdays. It'd be really cute. Or just because, whatever you feel like. This one I did landscape style, so I made it a little bit smaller, a little bit shallower, and then I have more room for the flower arrangement on top. This one is just a piece of scrap paper. I did some experimentation on the back. I'm going to use it for my card because nobody will know. Well, you'll know, but nobody else will know, right? So let's see. We're almost. I could use the blue of this other side, but I really, really like this little bit of hollow on this side. It's so interesting, the packaging. And then book page. I'm sure some of us have quite a bit of book page to go through, so we can always use that in this project. And then we just start building. Don't overthink it. It's just like when you do collage, you know, just sort of go with it. Let me see if I can create a little bit more space for you to actually see what I'm doing. All right. Let's see. That's not too bad. The phone only has so much capacity before it says, yeah, no, I'm not doing any more than that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my branches, and I'm just going to randomly sort of select where I'm going to put them. So you could do neutral. So if you wanted to do purple and purple, you absolutely could. You could just go, you know, I don't know, just play around. Let's see. Like this lavender and blue for some weird reason. Not a color combination you think of very often. And some of these are really long. If it's a little bit too long, it's okay. You can go down a little bit. You can trim it, of course, if you really want to. I don't feel like trimming because it will just create more scrap pieces. And I already have enough scraps to begin with. So I'm just going to go like that. And that'll fill up the page quite nicely. You can come in later on and do a few more little glue pieces on there, like some dots. That's okay. So this is technically from a Christmas die that I have. And, you know, who says it has to be green? We can go pink. That's okay. If you find wet glue is not your cup of tea for this kind of thing, you can obviously run it through your little Xyron sticker maker and, you know, use that instead. I like how it adds a little bit of something. And again, I'm going right over top because it doesn't matter. We're going to cover it up with our flowers anyway, so. But I'm just going to use up a bunch of branches first, because depending on where we place it, we can do all different kinds of things with it. That's half the fun. So when you mass make like this, you know, cut yourself a bunch of different styles, and then you can, you know, assemble it later and not be overwhelmed with how much you have to do. Because, you know, one day you can cut out a bunch of things, another day you can color, you know, just have fun with it. Don't take it too seriously. It's not meant to be overthought. You know what I mean? And it's okay to just sort of try different things. And if it doesn't turn out 100% the way you thought it would, that's okay too. This is why I try to do like a lot of these little experiments in my art journal, because you sort of get to play with the idea of whatever project you're working on. And some will have more than others. You don't want them all looking the same, at least I don't. If you do, by all means, you know, go for it. I find, because I don't really think ahead too much, that, you know, it's okay to do it a little bit differently than when you thought originally. Oh. Although some of these get really, really tangled, which really drives me crazy. There we go. So this one I just cut out of my jelly print paper. But if you didn't like it and you want it more of a contrast, just turn it over the other way and just use the other side. It's okay. You don't have to be too precise. See how it just sort of contrasts, which is kind of nice. I kind of like that look. And you're going to be gluing some flowers over top of it anyway, so don't be too concerned if this doesn't really stick down all that easily, because you can sort of fudge with it a little bit, right? I don't know. So all you really want to do is just sort of tack it down. And sometimes you want it all on one side, or maybe you want it curved. If you have a wreath one, that'd be kind of cute on it too. You could totally put that on there and then build your flowers around it. That'd be pretty. And again, if you don't have dies, draw them. Or if you have a stamp, use that. That'd be cool. Oops. And then when you get gluey fingers, everything sticks to them. So there is that to contend with. Let's see. Sometimes just repetition of a certain shape or color is enough to really, you know, make it interesting. So I'm just tacking it in some places. Don't be too worried about, you know, where it's going to go. I am not a florist. So this could either turn out really well or really horribly, so we'll see. But I think just like anything else, we can just sort of play around with shape and size and composition and just, you know, have fun with it. Don't take it too seriously. But varying heights and varying colors and, you know, print and things like that. And I'm going to use them all up because, I don't always want leftovers because it just creates more stuff I have to store somewhere else. So, there. That's how we're dealing with the leftovers. All right? We're just going to use them. There's no leftovers. Sometimes I have to remind myself of that. It's like, okay, don't do too many because then you got leftovers and then you got to store that and you got to do this. So the goal is to use it all up, okay? And then here you can start playing with different colors. So because these are all bright and these ones are all pretty much bright colors, you can just sort of pick one color family and start on each one and just sort of play with, you know, placement. So let's say like that. And you don't have to take it too seriously. Okay? And just play. And you can come in and do, you know, a bunch of these, like I said. And you can just keep going around in circles, you know. You can do it all monochromatic, which will look really nice. You can do black and white, which is not really monochromatic, but definitely high contrast. And then you can just, oops, 2 for that one. I mean, if it's supposed to be a bright color, for me, you know, if you're going to go bright, go bright. Why not? Let's see what else I have in there. Sometimes it's just nice to lay them out. Now some of these will have had thicker lines because I used a different marker for it, a white marker. So it's kind of nice to be able to use the thinner ones because they show up a little bit easier on the color on the paper that you've created. See how it just shows up a little bit nicer? Just start building. Go over the edge. Use different sizes. And just play. And you can keep it simple. You could just do a few flowers and just, you know, a couple of branches and then call it a day. That's what you feel like doing. But I kind of like the idea of making it like an explosion of color. So and spread it out a bit, because then you can just sort of play on how you want to place things and make it look more abundant, you know. It's like when you do garden, like container gardening, you know, they say the filler, the spiller, and the thriller. That's an old term, I know, but I think the same rules, if you want to call them that, sort of applies in just about anything you do. You know, you have the basic bone structure, and then you go from there. And then you add something a little bit exciting, like color or shape, you know. And then repetition is also key, because then you can sort of play with how you want it to look in the end. And like I said, this could turn out really horribly or really quite nice. You don't know. I think the key is to not overthink it, personally, because I tend to overthink things. So it's nice to just sort of, you know, just play with it. So I've got that, and I'm going to do I'm filming. I should probably put a sign on my door. So it's just fun to play. And some of them will float up a little bit higher than others. That's okay. You know. But you can see how it can sort of fill in, right? You get the idea. And then we're gonna do some of the lighter ones. But you can see when you have all your stuff already, then you can make this go much, much faster. And if you find, you know, these are not sticking very well, obviously you can use a better glue than this. So, okay, now for yellow. And we can always fill in those little areas when we don't know what to do with it, with the little Easter eggs. If you choose to. Oh, apparently I've got another green. Alright, fine. I don't think I made too many of the yellows. I try to do things in odd numbers so I don't always have the same kind of look to certain things. And then you could just sort of come in and see where you want to go with it. So I'm going to make mine into Easter ones. You obviously don't have to if you don't want to. But I see some areas where I can improve upon. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to tuck in my little Easter eggs. Because I think they look cute. Now you could put a butterfly on here too if you like. You could do some words. Just sort of lift up a little bit and tuck them in where you can. And if it's a bit too big, well, that's okay. You can replace it with something else if you like. Like if that is not really your cup of tea. Maybe something is a little bit too big for one area, you can put it into another one. Let's see. Some of these are really cute. And keeping in mind if you do varying sizes, right? So you can sort of play with it and then come around with it again. Just tuck them in. So it's sort of like an Easter basket flower arrangement, I guess, in a way. And sometimes things don't want to cooperate. So you just try your best. Tuck them in. Make it work. We can either cover it, we can move it, we can do other things. Just about anything is possible in the creative world. I think anyway. There. Does it make sense? No, probably not. It doesn't have to. You just keep going until you're happy with it. And that is okay. There we go. Let's see what else. So I try to, you know, just put them here and there. Let's see what else can we put over here. Maybe a little pink one. That's rather cute. Okay, this one I'm only going to put one in, I think. And then we can go back and do more flowers if you like. So again, you know, I'm of the use it up kind of mentality. But here's where you can play with some extra color. You can overlap them a little bit so it doesn't make it too obvious about the dish that it's in, kind of thing, you know. And put the really bright ones on the very last. I really like how these flowers turned out. It's a lot of fun to just sort of play. Now you can do different types of flowers too. You don't have to do these ones in particular. You know, if you're really good at drawing, you know, daisies or whatever, then by all means, go for it. And just sort of spill over the edge. And just have fun. You can come in with some pearl drops or whatever. And you can do the little centers of some of the flowers. You could do some glitter glue. I don't know. That'd be kind of cute. like how that sort of turned out. Oh, you're not going to stick, are you? There you go. But there. All right. You can obviously do more if you want. Let's see. I think this needs a little bit something or other. There we go. So it just sort of, you know, the flow of certain things makes it a little bit more interesting. And I think this one needs something over here. Yeah. So some do, some don't. Let's see. You can choose your smaller flowers, your larger ones, but it just sort of makes it pop a little bit more, and it keeps those little stray branches down too. If not, you just come in and put a little bit of extra glue on there. There. You just do it like that. That works for me. There. Looks cute. So some will have it, some won't. That's okay. And you just keep building up. You can use up all your flowers if you really want to, you know. The potential for a flower explosion basically is, in this case, not a bad thing, because I think it looks really pretty if you overdo it. I don't think you can overdo it. Well, I'm sure you can. And sometimes I have a hard time saying, yeah, enough is enough, but, you know, it's okay. It will definitely make somebody's day. Let's put it that way. So, let's see. There. You sort of want a rounded kind of shape kind of thing. I don't try to cover up too much of my, there. That makes it look a little bit fuller if you put a little bit in the background. That's cool. Let's see. What I like about these, because they're a little bit see-through, so when you keep building and building, you see a little bit of the color in behind, especially if it's a contrasting color. So it's kind of nice to have that look with these flowers, which is, you know, part of the fun. Let's see, this one needs a little bit of something there. Oh, I'm going to try and stay within the card confines. If not, we can come back and trim that. That's okay. You know, otherwise it's not going to fit in the envelope, but it does look very cute. Sort of tucked away off to the side. I mean, you could potentially just keep going on and on and on, right? And that's what I try to do with these, because you want to use them up. Again, you know, it's entirely up to you. If you like the minimalist look, or even if you don't want to overdo it, that's okay. That is just fine. Let's see. I don't know, I kind of like it that way. What do you think? Right? So this is how you can potentially do a whole bunch of cards all at the same time without really overthinking it, and you end up with something pretty cool. So again, you know, we can trim this off. It doesn't have to be there, right? So it goes off the page. You could put printed paper in behind it if you wanted to. Absolutely. You can do some on the inside if you want. If you wanted to put a couple of flowers in there around like Happy Easter or Happy Spring or something like that. You could put a little bunny in somewhere tucked away in there. I don't know. This one might need some lines for the stems. Let's see what we can do. Again, we don't have to overthink it. And we could just sort of, you know, there. Good enough. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, there we go. Some very, very bright flower arrangements for Easter or for spring or any occasion really. But there you have it. Very simple. If you have all the ingredients, you know, like they say in the kitchen, mise en place, everything in place. If you have it all in little dishes and you have it all ready to go, you have them all cut out, you know, organize them in an egg carton or on some plates like this one I got at the Dollar Tree. You know, just use them up. You know, you can put them all on there, and then you could potentially craft away for ages. And you can use it, you can make a rule for yourself, you know, you got to use it all up, and whether you use it all on the outside or all on the inside, it doesn't matter. You know, make a rule, stick to it, and then go from there and have fun. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. It's not much of a tutorial, it's just having some fun with color and, you know, arrangements. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.